Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be talking about pork. Why? Because one of my friends, she stopped eating pork a few years ago. She says because the Bible forbids us from eating pork. That's why. I see so many Christians are still confused. I didn't really, I don't really actually blame her because she used to work a lot with the Seventh Day Adventists. So that's why. And And also, I want to make this video to help other Christians to answer Muslims who use pork as a mean to attack your faith when they use Leviticus chapter 11. But first, before I start, again, I want to remind Christians that the Bible is divided into two books, two main books. One is the Old Testament, one is the New Testament. The Old Testament is the Jewish Bible, aka Tanakh. The New Testament is the Christian Bible. The Jewish Bible, aka Tanakh, the Old Testament is a covenant between God and the Israelites. A covenant between God and the Jews through Moses. The New Testament is a covenant between God and the Gentiles through Jesus Christ. Not only the Gentiles, the Jews who accept him as well. But this is, New Testament is something, a covenant that goes beyond Judaism, beyond Mosaic law, the law of Moses, which is in Old Testament. But New Testament is go much further. I hope I have made myself clear. First, we will go through the one Quranic verse regarding this pork. Let us read. He has forbidden for you only the carrion and blood and flesh of swine, and the animal that has been slaughtered while proclaiming the name of anyone other than Allah. I will just stop there. This is pretty clear, pretty straightforward. Allah forbids Muslim from eating pork. And like I mentioned earlier, Leviticus 11, verse 7 and 8. And the pig, though it has a divided hoof, does not chew the cud. It is unclean for you. You must not eat their meat or touch their carcasses. They are unclean for you. When we look at these two or three verses, one from Quran, two from Leviticus, we can say, yeah, pork is forbidden. We are not supposed to eat pork. But if you're a Christian who believes Jesus is God, let us take a look. Mark chapter 7, verse 14 to 23. Let us read. Again, Jesus called the crowd to him and said, listen to me, everyone, and understand this. Nothing outside a person can defile them by going into them. Rather, it is what comes out of a person that defiles them. After he had left the crowd and entered the house, his disciples asked him about this parable. Are you so dull? He asked. Don't you see that nothing enters a person from outside can defile them? For it doesn't go into their heart, but into their stomach, and then out of the body. He went on, what comes out of a person is what defiles them, for it is from within, out of a person's heart, that evil thoughts come: sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceit, lewdness, envy, slander, arrogance, and folly. All these evils come from inside and defile a person. So, Jesus actually declaring our foods clean because it doesn't matter what comes into you because it's going into your stomach. And sometimes I hope more Christians paying attention to this passage. And let's go to one more passage from the book of Acts, chapter 10, verse 9 to 16, Peter's vision. About noon the following day, as they were on their journey and approaching the city, Peter went up on the roof to pray. He became hungry and wanted something to eat. And while the meal was being prepared, he fell into a trance. He saw heaven opened and something like a rod being let down to earth by its four corners. It contained, it contained all kinds of four-footed animals, as well as reptiles and birds. Then a voice told him, "Get up, Peter, kill and eat." "Surely not, Lord," Peter replied. "I have never eaten anything impure or unclean." The voice spoke to him a second time. "Do not call anything impure that God has made clean." This happened 3 times, and immediately the city was taken back to heaven. So God has told Peter to eat whatever available actually. This is also a pretty simple passage to understand. And I have to remind you, this is after the disciples received Holy Spirit. Why? I have to remind you this because it means they are guided by the Holy Spirit Himself. And I'm sure everyone has heard the story about Jesus sends demons into pigs in the city of the country of Gadarenes. In modern day, Gadarenes is just by a sea of Galilee. It's here. The name is different. The name is different. It's Gadara, but it's still the same, Gadarenes. Why I mention this? When you go to the passage in Matthew chapter 8, verse 28 to 34, people in that one of the town in Israel, they have pigs, pig farms, because so many pigs. And so many pigs dead, drowned in the waters. They had to ask Jesus and his disciple to leave because of that. They were upset. Why? Because they eat the pigs, they eat pork. If you raise pigs, so many pigs like that, most likely it is for food, not just for pets. And back then, even Abraham, and this is the funny thing about Islamic faith, about Islam, Muhammad claimed that he followed the religion of Abraham. But Abraham ate pork because the prohibition did not come until the time of Moses, which is about over 1,000 years apart. From Abraham to Moses, maybe even 1,300 years, 1,200 years. Everyone ate pork. Noah, when he built the ark, why did not God tell him to leave the pigs to be drowned in the big flood? If pigs are not supposed to be eaten until now, like Noah should not save the pigs. The book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 7 to 8, came down. That one, the well, not the book came down. Wow, I talk about Islam a lot. It's almost like my mindset becoming almost like a Muslim. The prohibition in Leviticus chapter 11 came during the time of Moses, and this is when they were after the Exodus from Egypt. When you are in a nomadic situation, you're not supposed to have pigs. You're not supposed to eat pork because it is not safe, because pigs, they will eat everything, anything. And to have a healthy pigs, you must have a proper farm. To have a proper farm, you cannot be a nomad, because during that 40 years they have to keep moving. They could be in one spot for one day or 1 week, 1 month, but could be just one night, and they have to move the next day. So they cannot have a proper pig farm. That's why God provided them with a manna, with food during that time, and they're not supposed to eat pigs or pork. And this, I've been using this in the past several years, as long as I have debated with Muslims online or something. When I talk with Muslims, I always show life expectancy by country. This is year 2024, last year. Number one, Hong Kong. The average is 85.63. Japan, followed by South Korea, French Polynesia, Switzerland, Australia, Italy, Singapore, Spain, Reunion. Yes, people in French Polynesia, they eat pork, by the way. And Singaporeans and 75% Chinese, they do eat pork. Most of them. And as you can see now, as Norway, France, Sweden, Macau, UAE number 16 is the only Muslim country, I think, the top 20. And Israel number 19, and number 20, Canada. So the top 20, only 2 countries do not eat pork: UAE and Israel. But 90% of those 20 countries, they do eat pork regularly. Even if you go to number 40. And number 23, Qatar. Number 38, Bahrain. And number 40, Maldives. So 40 countries, 40 top countries. Only 5 of them do not eat pork. And the other 35, they do eat pork. So what does it tell you? If these numbers correct, then I can safely say, if these numbers, whatever they presented here, is correct, then I can safely say statistic does not lie. So Muslims cannot just say, oh, pork is not healthy. Oh, pork is unclean, disgusting, dirty, yada yada. They cannot do this, because they have to see this. So remember, if a Muslim talking like that, talking stupid like that, you have to give them, and you have to show them countries ranked by life expectancy. And you can go to 2023, 2025 even, and you will see the same result. Anyway, that's all from me for today, and thank you for watching and listening. Yes, I had not made a video for a couple of weeks because I had been sick, to be honest with you. And I'm just getting better right now. And anyway, thank you for watching and listening. Whether you eat pork or you don't. God bless you all. Have a nice life.